Although I found your presentation quite detailed, I'm sure there are a few of us here who may need some clarification that they probably did not get the full understanding of.
Thank you very much. My name is Sapon Abubakar. I work for Tinka TV. I am interested in the Accra River Drainage Project at Abuna Sondro. I know that project started somewhere after 2010 when there were heavy floods in that community. And as of 2017, when I went there for a report, the project has been abandoned and the effect on the people in the community were very great. They complained of mosquitoes because the place was bushy as of that time. But the minister said that the project is being tackled. I want to understand exactly what is happening there currently. Do we have the constructor currently on site, or if you say it's being tackled, what exactly is the state of the Abuna Sondro project? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Atamensa from GNA. I'm interested in the slum upgrading of Nima and Mamopi. The minister said it has secured 1,039 acre land to develop that place into world-class residential area, and the people will not be dislodged. I want to find out whether governments are going to build that world-class burden for the people for free, or government is going to provide that burden and sell them to the people. I want to understand it. Thank you.
My name is Melvin from Daily Guy, and my question has to do also with the NEMA project. Can we get specific timelines as to when you're going to start the project and then complete? And you spoke also about an 8-year housing project that you want to embark on. Can we know how much it's going to cost either the state or the private developers that may undertake that project?
My name is Nana Poku from Daily Searchlight. I think one project that I didn't hear you mention of it is the desertion of the Odo River, because it's in the center of the city, and elsewhere in London, for instance, we have River Thames. When you go to Kenya, they have a river in their capital. So Odo has been left to create some kind of discomfiture for the whole populace. What is happening to Odo? Are you going to desilt it, make it a first-class waterway, maybe for transportation, because it can be done? Yeah, you did mention that you are going to consult another second phase of security housing project for the other security services. Is that the case? And the judicial service. Where exactly, and what is the number of houses that you are going to consult, and for which of them? Is it for across board or for some senior of staff or whatever it is? Thank you very much.
My name is Samuel Opoku from Accra FM. And my question has to do with the review of the Rent Act, the 56-year-old Rent Act. Is the main issue has to do with the review or enforcing of the law when it's being reviewed? Because from the look of things, it looks like this 56-year-old act has not been really enforced as it's being stand now. So when it's being reviewed, is it going to be enforced, or how is it going to be? And is the work of agents, when you have to rent a room, are they being regularized by, or are they being regulated by the Ministry of the Rent Act, and what's going to be done about that? Thank you.
The first question relates to the Accra's radio thing. You see, a contractor was hired long ago to do the job. Then the contractor discovered a major rock in the drainage. Therefore, it was necessary to review the scope of works. Because to get the rock out of the way to do the drainage was a huge capital-intensive situation that will be outside the pocket of the contractor. This has been done and it's been approved by the procurement agency that we should review the scope of works and progress will go on. It's that it was an unforeseen trouble, from an engineering perspective. They never anticipated that in doing the drainage, there's a mighty rock which will stand in their way. So that is what I said, it is ongoing because the scope of work has enlarged. Yes, somebody is troubled about the NEMA upgrading, or what they call the slum upgrading. You see, the NEMA people have their own homes, we are aware. So we are not going to dislodge them. What we are going to do, that we are going to build executive flats and housing arrangement for them. And then they will move in free of charge. So we create a better environment for them, and they move in free of charge. Then the land space, you see, where they are, will be released to the developer. And the developer can decide that I'll make sure that the land space I have will be more glamorous than Villaggio, which will compensate for the properties that they've released for them. Then they will sell their Villaggio structures, those who can go and buy them or whatever they want, they used to it, they will put. And then it will cancel out the cost. This is what it is. And then the government will have the benefit of the modern structures that will be erected there. We will take part of the structures. And the developer will also take part of the structures. So that it has no cost to the state. This is what the redevelopment and the slum upgrading is all about. So for instance, we might pay regard to the imam or the king of the area to be in a very decent house and a mosque to boot. And they are in the same vicinity. When you go to some city, you say, this area is not run down. As we say, it's elegant to be there. You are in modern flat. But here also, along the same area, you can build whatever structure you want to build. And this is what we are trying to do. But they will live in the modern structures free of charge. They will own it because we took the slums and we use the land for benefit and they can have it free of charge. That's how we want to go. And you know why it should be so? Because the whole area is so big. Nima and Mamobi, they are all at the central place of this city. This is what we are going to do. Somebody is very concerned about the cost of building the houses in 8 years. It's all an engineering mechanism. I will not be able to tell you on top of my head that it will cost us so much to build, wipe out the deficit in 8 years. But I can assure you that whatever the cost is should be tied to our development. Oh, it's oh, thank you very much. The whole engineering and what they want to do will be presented to the next cabinet for consideration. Immediately they give us the green light, we proceed with it. Yes, we just bring in the developers. And then if they are ready to do it, they start. What you normally do is that you build for the citizens first, so then you can move them. But we do a whole sensitization and orientation so that they come to terms with the fact that we are here to improve their lot. So this year is a major year to start this project. So I will not be able to say so because of the fact that it's all a blend of technology and the money that we will need to do it. But we should commit ourselves to wiping out the deficit. Because we've done it in certain areas. We've done it in health. The cost of health that we are enjoying now is not the real cost. It's subsidized. National health insurance, if you are aware. We've done one for free education. The cost of education we are enjoying now is not the real cost. I want to submit that we should do the same for housing. and wipe it out. So the government is committed to that, and whatever it costs for us to do this in 8 years, we should be able to do it. It shouldn't be a problem that we will defer permanently. My good friend from Daily Searchlight, he said, I never mentioned anything about the desilting of the Odo River. Yeah, the desilting is going on now, and I want to put you on the spot that when you leave here, go and take cameras and look at it. The desilting is going on. But it feeds into the Garrett program, the World Bank 200 million arrangement. And this gentleman who just spoke about this, I mean, he's so intelligent. And I don't know whether you've traveled to Budapest, because the ideas we're sharing, or the themes, as Riley said, in every decent city, if we are blessed with the natural resource of a river, it's a whole beautification of the city, where people, I mean, some of the journalists here who might want to recline and write your articles could go on the yacht. Now, the yacht is not expensive. You could see the river will begin to tease you and your mind to write better. Because it's solemn, you know. When you are relaxed, you can write better. Yes, they have it. I went to Budapest with the finance minister, and we went to the river called Duna. That's how they pronounce it there. You know, they don't intend to be vulgar because they are not Gans. You know? And there's a restaurant on the river called The Spoon. So people go there and do that. So there's a huge challenge. Do we have the culture to rejuvenate the river? Because it's supposed to be a river. The Odo is a river. Are you aware? So that we'll be able to have light yachts and then recreational center in the area. This is what the World Bank is looking at. So I thank you for what you said, that do not abuse a river body. It could bring even tourism and foreign exchange. If people can be sitting on yachts in the Odo River and they can relax and do their reading. As a matter of fact, the arrangement for the security services is not just Accra-centered, it will be across the country. What we intend having from the Sino-Hydro. Again, the development of infrastructure, housing infrastructure for the judiciary is across the country. Now, my good friend is concerned about the Rent Act, that we are weak in enforcement. So some people are arguing that it's even needless. That is true. But there's an underlying trouble that the supply side is challenged. We do not have sufficient flats in the realm for people to go and even rent up a government bungalow or a flat. Because if supply should outstrip demand, then you can't talk about rent advance. We have so many houses. How can you say somebody should pay you 3 years rent advance when he's a civil servant? Where is he going to get the money from? That is why we are saying that we should speed up the rollout of the housing units. But in the meantime, whilst we're looking at it, shouldn't we have a law which probably will reduce the rent advance to 3 months, or whatever Parliament will approve, and as he rightly said, enforce it. But I'm talking about the fundamentals. If the houses are not there, you might not go and complain to the police that this landlady or landlord is taking so much from me. You might want to sleep and hold your peace and pay some exorbitant price. But if you drive the supply, I tell you, rent advance will become odious. And you will see where we are going with it. My friend was talking about agents. You know, these are agents in estate development. That is, and they don't pay tax, and they can rip you off and the rest of it. That's why we're trying to deal with real estate law. And in it, all real estate agents will have to be registered. And they have to divulge their commissions for tax purposes to increase the revenue base of the country. So these are, serious policies we are pursuing.
Good morning. I'm Selo Maminya of TV3. Honorable Minister, during the 2017 commemoration of the June 3 disaster, you mentioned that government was poised to introduce the underground sewage system. And 2 years on, it looks like you are yet to do that. And I remember, if I may quote you, you told us that it was a very important program, non-negotiable, that was the word you used, a non-negotiable policy.
Kindly address me. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. A non-negotiable policy for government. So I want to know the progress so far.
My name is Doreen Ando. I write for the Daily Graphic. In your address, Honorable, you mentioned that would require 250,000 housing units a year for a period of 8 years to be able to address adequately the 2 million housing deficits. We want to find out that this 8-year period that you gave, when is your government starting? When are we expecting the first batch of 250,000 housing units? Thank you very much.
I am Nanawe Yankra. I work with City FM, City TV. I have a specific case that has to do with flooding. There's an area around Nanakrom, it's called Nanakrom actually, around Ashaliboche, East Legon. There's a bridge there that has claimed 6 lives within 6 months. During the president's campaign, he said he was going to fix it immediately, but it's been over a year or 2, and it still hasn't been fixed. We want to know what immediate plans are to fix the bridge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Alex Boy. I write for the New Crusading Guide. I always get worried when I hear of affordable housing. Affordable housing. Yeah, exactly. Why am I saying this? We have an ordinary Ghanaian whose monthly salary happens to be close to, not even up to 200 cedis. And I heard a minister saying that under former President Kufuor's regime, a 1-bedroom apartment was being sold for 20,000 Ghana cedis. How do you expect an ordinary Ghanaian whose salary is not up to 200 cedis to acquire such a house? Thank you very much. I need to be educated on it.
Honorable, your friend Abednego Asante, Mejima Wadum FM. Now, because maybe said the tree. Now, my person finding out and say, "Okay, Senate, a dime on my view, Boteman." But who mentioned figures 87,000 per 1-bedroom apartment. I don't know, say, Honorable, but my intervene because no boy didn't know. If you can intervene, because an average Ghanaian, I'm not sure so bet me at all, sir, a diary, and also on the second issue, okay, we say MPs need to allocate land for one constituency, one President Akufo-Addo flats. Meaning when a time point I must start this project and as must started it wait my update here. Thank you.
My name is Maxwell. I write for the Chronicle newspaper. During your presentation, Honorable, I heard you mention establishment of a real estate authority. I want to know when Ghanaians are going to see it. When is it going to happen?
My name is Maraba from GH1 TV. So during your presentation, you spoke about residents that live around waterlogged areas, and then you're going to bring down structures that are at those areas. What are you going to do for the residents?
Not in those areas, in the waterway.
Waterways, yes.
Please get it right.
Yes. So residents that are living there after the
in the waterway.
In the waterways, yes.
I don't recall him saying that everybody living in waterlogged areas are going to be kicked out. He said in the waterway.
Yes, in the waterways.
Okay.
The residents, what are we going to do for them?
For those living in the waterways?
Yes, in the waterways.
What do you do to somebody who commits an illegality? Do you reward him? You see, because what we are not policing is the way people build. If you should be so lawless in erecting a structure in a waterway, why should we reward you for your illegality? So I'll leave that, but this is my sense of it. And the mayor will do that exercise. In fact, if we should reward people for building in waterways, and we are promoting impunity. My brother, I share your concern that when we define affordability, it's always a factor of a man's pocket. So if a two-bedroom house is 87,000 Ghana cedis, it's way above the pocket of the individual. And we are talking about this Senate situation because of the challenges we have in not completing them and intervening. We surrendered these houses to Senate, and they are commercial. They want to make money. So what is very important to solving the problem, from my perspective, is creating a credible mortgage environment. This credible mortgage environment works this way, that all over the world, individuals are able to apply 30% of what they earn to mortgage instrumental payments. And it stretches sometimes 20 good years. And when even people are married, it's better. They are able to own houses over time. And this is what we're going to create, because we are acutely aware that the present salary levels will not be able to make a man go and acquire a house up front. But what if you give him a mortgage arrangement? That problem can be solved. So in trying to roll out the affordable housing, affordability is always defined in terms of your pocket size. If you make the houses, even with the greatest of respect, 7,000 Ghana cedis, some people will still struggle to find 7,000 Ghana cedis to own a container house, because there are houses which are containers. But if you created an enabling mortgage environment, the individual can own the place. This is the duty of government, and we'll begin to roll this thing out for you. I'm afraid issues which relate to bridges are the remit of my colleague minister, Roads and Highways. So I've taken note of this Ashaliboche bridge, which you said has claimed 8 lives. I'm going to really 6 lives. I'm going to liaise with him, and when we close, if you'll be kind enough to come to me, I would like to have your number so that we'll be monitoring what they will do about it. That is what I have to say for that. Now, yes, the lady over there was saying that if you want to wipe out the deficit in 8 years, then we have in mind 250 housing units every year. When are we starting? We are starting this year. In fact, we have started some already. If you care to know, and we're listening to the presentation, the housing structure for the, what's it called? The police at Tesano has already started. And we are going to do them. But you shouldn't be too worried about the timelines. I've told you that we have world-class structures now, that people could erect a whole flat in 6 weeks. We are committed to doing this. We owe it to the nation to do that. Yes, I told you about the disaster in June when I assumed office. That is very, very serious. If you pay regard to the garage project, which we couldn't elaborate because of the time constraints, the garage project will tackle the issue of what happened in the Odo and the areas. And going underground for drainage is what we are asking the bank to do. We believe that if all our sewage will go underground, then we are improving as a nation, and we are doing Ghana beyond it. So what you said about drainage, which is underground, subterranean, we are for it, and it's the best way to go.
This issue is very important because in 2017, the Vice President raised an issue about it. The official resident of the Vice President lent is $18.9 million, and the Vice President raised issue about the amount involved. We want to know the current situation in terms of its construction.
My name is Lansa Al-Hassan Musa, Star FM Upper West Regional Correspondent. The Honorable Minister mentioned WA, and I've been so interested in the housing project in WA. Visited there a couple of times, and the only things I see is foundation and weeds around there. The last time I checked from the RCC, I was told they can't find any documents relating to the contract. What are we doing about it? Are we getting people punished for wasting our resources on a project? And are we going to have the project completed so that workers in that region can also get some affordable housing? Thank you.
My boss, who runs AESL, is not here to answer the Vice President's challenge. As I stand here now, I wouldn't want to make a mistake by trying to give you answers that I'm not sure. But I was acutely aware that they brought to me the cost of the structure, which was 30 million plus. But we can find the answer tomorrow and put it in the public domain via whatever channel for you to know what has happened to that structure. Yes, my brother, who is very conscious about what is happening to President Kufuor's uncompleted affordable housing arrangement in WA, we are on the verge of securing 51 million Ghana cedis, $51 million, and the good people of WA will be the beneficiaries of the structures. In fact, this year's project is geared towards that by all means, and I talk immediately we get the money, we begin to expedite the rollout in WA. As for the documentations, maybe they will not have it because we are the ministry. We have documentation on this originated from us. If we're interested in documentation in WA, we'll be able to give it to you because we are the one driving it. Punishing people do mean causing financial losses, they say.
Minister, I think that came in because he said they couldn't find the documentation.
But by my reckoning, you see, the contractors got to a point, and because of the poverty space they were working, they were unable to continue. So the contractor would have loved to work. But if they bring you the certificate and you are unable to pay, then they abandon. So there are several contractors who abandoned the Kufuor project because of, the fact that they were not resourced financially to complete them.
At this point, I believe we've exhausted all the questions that we could have. We took all the media houses. Everybody came up front, and after we gave the opportunity for supplementary questions. We are grateful to the Minister, his deputies, the entire ministry, their departments and agencies, and the representatives from all these institutions and organizations. We are also grateful to our brothers and sisters in the media, and it is our prayer and our hope that you'll report credibly and channel the reliable information to help build a better Ghana. It is your Ghana, my Ghana, our Ghana, and it pays to record reliably. Thank you so much.